Why can't a Jedi send photos, documents, and images in an email? Attachments are forbidden! Now that I have you in stitches, I'd like to shed some light on the ultimate Star Wars immersive experience in the new paranormal. My guest today is an actor, a TikToker, a photographer, a musician, and a seasoned Disney Parks performer. Please welcome Matt Pablo. Matt, let's begin with a lightning round. Favorite movie?
The Patriot.
Your best friend is kidnapped, and the only way to save them is to recite the lyrics to one song perfectly. What song will you pick?
That's so easy. Happy birthday.
Thank you, but it's not my birthday because I'm a ghost and I'll most likely never have a birthday again. One food you will never say no to.
That's easy. That's the question that everybody will answer. Pizza.
What was the best Halloween costume from your youth?
So my mom made them all. And because I'm a big Star Wars fan, it has to be Darth Vader. But it's also a toss-up because I also was Darth Maul.
Favorite Star Wars creature?
To Gruden. It's, for those of you who don't know, it's the one that Ahsoka is. We come from the planet Shali. And the reason I picked that is it's loaded because I played to Gruden on the ship on the Galactic Starcruiser.
How frighteningly spectacular. Now, Matt, you've been involved with Disney since 2011, when you opened Aulani. You've since moved to Walt Disney World, where you performed in such classic shows as Spirit of Aloha Dinner Show, Disney Junior Live on Stage, and the Jedi Training Academy. But I'm curious, how did you get the role on the Galactic Starcruiser?
Oh, that was a whole journey. We had just come out of COVID, or in fact, we were in the middle of the pandemic. And I didn't have any job. Nobody had a job. And so there was so much riding on this. And for the first time in my career with Disney, I felt like I had to get this job or I didn't know where the next paycheck was coming from. So there was quite a lot riding into that process. And it was a big process. When Disney puts all of their investment into one of their biggest projects and opening it, they want to hire the best of the best. So I think something like 3,000 people came out to audition for each role. There were only 12 roles available. There were 4 rounds of auditions. The first round was a video submission. The second round was a callback for particular roles that they were interested in me for. One of them was the mechanic, Sammy. The second one was Sandro Alamander, the first-time cruiser or the guest aboard the ship. Then the third callback, it was a live audition, but it was over FaceTime. And they had the producer in there, the creative director, the music director. I was really terrified, but I was auditioning from my kitchen. It was the weirdest time in the world.
What do you call a nervous Jedi? Panickin' Skywalker.
And then we moved to the final round of callbacks, which was actually in person at Disney Casting in this big building. It's this giant gold building that looks like a castle, and it says casting across the front. And then there's these giant golden statues and obelisks all around. And then you go in there and they're like, okay, now sing your best song you've ever sang in your life. And you're like, oh gosh, okay.
A song?
3 weeks go by and I am sitting in quarantine at home watching TV, wondering what I'm going to do with my life. And after 3 weeks, you kind of give up hope. That's pretty much it. I was like, they didn't hire me. I got to figure out something else to do. And my phone rings. It's Lake Buena Vista, Disney Casting. I answer the phone and they say, hey, we would like to offer you the full-time position as Sandro Alamander, and you're going to be in the workshop and actually help develop the script, help develop the character, and everything that you're going to do across the 2 days of the cruise, which was such an honor, so incredible. And they also said that I was going to sub an additional role, which was Sammy the mechanic. So all of that auditioning, all of that hard work, and all of that stress definitely paid off.
Why is a droid mechanic never lonely? Because he's always making new friends. What's your fondest memory of the Galactic Starcruiser?
There are so many different fun memories. Being a part of the workshop was incredible to be hands-on and really have a voice in the creative process and be so utilized in creating the role. That was just such an incredible honor. I had never been part of a project that didn't just hand me the script and say, this is what you're going to do. This project was an open book, and they said, these are empty pages. There's 16 hours that we need to fill. What do you think this character should do? That was incredible. And I have to talk about opening day. That was the fondest memory that I will have for the rest of my life. The entire creation process was about 6 months to a year. And we finally opened. And within that time, you kind of get lost in the weeds of creating things. But when the doors finally opened for the first time, we were kind of nervous because we didn't know how people were going to receive it. We didn't know if they were going to think we're crazy. We didn't know if they wanted to be involved, but it was quite the opposite of all of that. As soon as the doors opened, every single guest aboard the ship on opening day was in a costume. All the guests came with big backstories. They had gifts that they were giving us that involved their backstories and involved our story. And then I began to see the effectiveness of the role that I had created. This is something that even transcends like a Star Wars fan. If you're not a Star Wars fan, you can still relate to my role because I have the opportunity to build real relationships with you over the course of 16 hours and 2 days. And so we go through the struggle together, you know? So by the end of it, we are a family. It's amazing. The director, the main director of the whole project, told me, your job, your role, your goal on the ship is to give people the permission to party. And I was like, okay, let's go. And it was so successful. It was just like a party the entire time. By the end of our first voyage, I couldn't get out of the parking lot because people were running out of the building to stop me before I got to my car saying, dude, who are you? What? This was the most incredible experience I've ever had. And I was like, it was my most incredible experience too. And we were all just in tears and laughing and hugging and just, it was so pure and it was so joyful and just so wonderful. We're gonna take it for a ride to the
Matt, you weren't on a spaceship. You were on a friendship. Anyway, I understand your voice is heard all around the world as part of the recording of the Disney 50th fireworks show. What part do you sing exactly?
So I actually get to sing the Moana song. It's called We Know the Way. I do the Tokelauan part in some places in the world and also the English part. And it's the solo in the song. It's incredible. Dream come true.
Ah, I love that movie soundtrack. You know, someone said that all the songs in Moana are pop songs, but it is quite clear that Your Welcome is a rock song. Yeah! Have you heard your recordings in the actual shows? Did you get to keep a copy of it?
Oh, I don't have a copy. They won't give you a copy of these things, but I have seen it on YouTube in Hong Kong and Shanghai. And again, I was just so fortunate to be able to record the one here in Florida in Walt Disney World. So I did get to see that one in person, live in person. It was incredible. I brought my whole family, and then I brought my entire cast from the STARCRUISer. We all went to go see that on the 50th anniversary, and it was so much fun.
Oh, how precious! What do fireworks drink? Sparkling water! What was the recording process like, anyway?
It was definitely nerve-wracking. Like, I was really scared the entire time. I was so nervous because you have all these executives in the room. And at one point, there was the recording artist or the producer who actually produces Justin Timberlake's music. And he walks in there and he's listening to your voice. And it's just you while the music's playing. And they give you a bunch of notes. You have to absorb them all in 2 seconds and deliver. And I guess it went well because I didn't get cut from the show. The audition process was actually pretty unorthodox. I heard about it from a friend of a friend who told me that there's this music director who works for Disney who's looking for these voices to be in these different shows, the fireworks shows specifically. And the first audition I ever did was on my voice memo on my phone in my bathroom because it had the best acoustics.
The best acoustics, you say? Oh, you're right.
And I sent that voice memo in, and I got hired for one of the biggest jobs of my whole career.
Any horror stories you'd like to share about your experience? Anything go terribly wrong?
Absolutely. This is a secret that nobody in the world knows. You heard it here first. I was sick.
Oh, no.
Every single time I recorded something big for Disney, I was completely sick. I had a head cold. The day I woke up, I had a sore throat. I had congestion. I barely had a voice to sing. And that's like 100% of the shows. The 5th anniversary for Shanghai, the brand new Moana show in Hong Kong, and the 50th anniversary for Walt Disney World, I was sick 100% of the time. And so I just took a lot of cough drops and some ibuprofen, said a little prayer, and hope for the best.
Well, when that happens, when do you know when to call it quits?
Yeah, you can never quit.
Speaking of quitting, most of the staff at the nearby cemetery quit recently. I heard they've had to run the place with a skeleton crew. Thank you, Matt, for shooting the sheet with me today, and for having such an infectiously positive attitude. My friends, I must ghost you for now. Until next time, goodbye.